been a great week, and so yeah, just looking forward to the weekend.
All right, Josh, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. We had a good week of being able to watch a lot of baseball, so that makes me happy. I'm not sure that with the Raiders not being part of it, it takes the luster off of it, but it's still good baseball.
Well, it is. It's a different fall postseason as we were last year following the Rangers, and I remember you talking about how like you didn't get into football because you were so engulfed.
Oh yes, last year I did not care about football at all. I've had plenty of time to care about football this year. I don't know if I should, though, because it hasn't been going
well. Your teams. Well, you got one team. The Cowboys are on a 2-game winning streak. Have a chance to win.
The Giants. That doesn't count. What
about the Steelers win?
The Steelers win, and it was fun. I mean, it was midnight, so that made me mad. But
the 8:45 kickoff was. You had, if you're a Red Raider fan, you had the Tech game that started on Saturday at 10, and was the only game that started on Saturday and ended on Sunday. And then they made Dak also through touchdown passes like on a Saturday and a Sunday. So,
Sunday and Monday.
Yeah, Sunday and Monday.
Sunday,
yeah,
it's got to be your bowl. But and you're right, that game started really late. I turned that game on and was watching it while I was laying in bed because I said I'm not staying up till 1 a.m. I just not going to do it. And I fell asleep, woke up, and it was halftime and Tech was winning. So I was like, well, that's good. I was hoping that they would do well, and they did. So
and they did. They're playing well. They're only one loss on the year on the road at Washington State. Undefeated in the Big 12. So we'll talk about a big weekend last week of college football and how there were a number of upsets after a weekend before where Alabama was, yes, we beat Georgia. Kalen DeBoer was the man. They started building the statue, and then real quick it probably started going down after losing to Vanderbilt. We'll talk about that a little bit later when we get to our college football segment. Again, Josh mentioned it, Major League Baseball. Really exciting. We'll talk about that on how maybe are some things that need to change. Should they change as far as how baseball does postseason? A lot of debates there, and then of course our celebrity guest picker, Dash Albus, who was recently drafted by the Kansas City Royals. He's been out at rookie camp. I'm anxious to see what they actually call it. But he's been out in Arizona playing baseball. He's in. They got a little bit of a break, and I think he has to go right back out. But Dash will be here, and so a lot of Kansas City Royals. You might be able to get a Kansas City Royal leather or like a fitted cowboy hat from his dad.
Oh yeah.
There's a chance of that. So before you go, Lawrence, saw headline report. So Misty, I know you got new friends, but how's the first few days of the new gig been?
It's been so good. I've had very mixed response from acquaintances and my friends. Some are like, you're crazy. Why are you leaving a career of 18 years and starting completely over? And then the other half of the people I talk to are like, I'm so proud of you for just being like, you know what? This is something that I didn't feel was working anymore, and I'm going to try something new at almost 40. And so I obviously.
You're almost 40?
I know.
I thought you were almost 30.
I'm sure that shocked a lot of our listeners. Because
you lie all the time.
I know. I'm like 27, I think is what I was saying. But yeah, so no, it's been good. Honestly, like the first day, I was like, yes, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, so it's been really reassuring because, there is a little bit of fear anytime you make a big decision like that. But I was just like, bring it on. Like, I wasn't scared about it. It's been great. Such a great crew, very welcoming, and it's been really good.
How was last night? You went and saw Co?
Yeah, Co was great. I've never seen him before. He really brings the house down. I mean, gosh, as soon as he stepped on the stage, nobody was sitting down. I mean, it was a party. Everybody was.
Curious, did you go see Parker?
I did.
Same similar crowd?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I was trying to, I don't know.
I just remember seeing the photos and the videos, which everything goes straight to Facebook from stuff like that. And just, which I'm great. Shout out to Screaming Goat and everybody just a great crowd for Parker. And I assumed, of course, the co-wrestle concert was so big time in that, most of the concerts that we remember, they went on sale and you were going to that concert like in a month or two.
Right.
These tickets went on sale like a long time ago, like you would if you bought tickets for a concert in April in Oklahoma that apparently broke the internet a couple of days ago. So, but it was a good crowd.
Yeah, good crowd. I don't know how many the Coliseum holds. That's where it was held, or Expo, whatever they're calling it. I know there's been lots of name changes.
Seattle Seahawks decor.
Yeah.
It's very
It
bright
is.
green and blue. Yeah.
Yes.
Which ironically, the Seattle Seahawks played last night. We'll get to that when we get to the headline report.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But no, it was great. Great crowd. And so, yeah, he put on a really great show. And so, yeah, a little tired this morning. It was probably almost 1 o'clock before I fell asleep. So, 5:45 came early, but I'm here and ready to tackle the day.
And Pam Tillis was at the Paramount, another, probably more of our throwback at Pam Tillis, which you can hear Pam Tillis right here on 106.9, the Country Giant. But let's dive into our Lawrenceville headline report. We'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the New York Yankees advanced to the ALCS with a win over, ironically, Dash's Kansas City Royals last night, 3-1. We'll talk more baseball when we get to our first Bank and Trust Texas Ranger MLB report. The NFL last night, first of all, we'll first. Now let's do the score. San Francisco wins last night, 36-20 something. I'll look it up in a minute. The 49ers, big game last night. They win, get back on track. They brought Purdy those three touchdown passes, 2 of them to George Kittle. 36-24 last night. The 49ers win, and again, Brock Purdy. We got take it or trash it. Is the West, are we shocked on how close and competitive the parity is of the NFC West?
Well, yes, because I expected the 49ers to be clearly better, and they've had some injury problems. But I really just thought it was going to be the 49ers and then everybody else.
Yeah.
Well, and I honestly thought it might be the 49ers and everybody else in the NFC, but I think the Lions are starting to say, hey, I think we are pretty good and all those things. But they win last night. They take care of business and see if they will stay healthy. Again, they're doing this without Christian McCaffrey. Jordan Mason was injured last night, so they're doing this with a lot of injuries, but still, 49ers win last night. We already have a coach fired in the NFL. 5 games in, Robert Saleh is no longer the head coach of the New York Jets. Gets let go. They've got a big game Monday night with the Bills for a chance to get back in the AFC East. I mean, the Dolphins have gone south since Tua's gone. The Patriots are going to Drake May. They're trying to figure life out. They're struggling. And so were you shocked that the firing of Robert Saleh came so early?
Well, yes, it was a bold move, and it also, I mean, and I know Misty is like madly in love with him, but it shows the Aaron Rodgers kind of has a history of being difficult on coaches, and I don't know if there's a little exchange between him and the coach at the Sunday game, at 8 in the morning, if you're getting ready for church, I had to watch some football, which is always kind of funny. But
yeah, he's a coach killer.
yes, and so that awkwardness after that, I was like, he's gone. I didn't know how soon it was going to be, but it was immediate.
Yeah, no, same. I mean, I didn't think it was going to come this early, but I could just see the writing on the wall a few weeks ago, and then all the rumors about, Hackett.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, I was like, hold on. I was like putting them together.
Buddy Wackett.
Yeah, but him, and obviously that's Aaron's buddy, and then there were talks about removing him, and so then now let's remove Salah, and I don't know. We'll see what happens, but he hasn't done his job either. So as a head coach, so I'm like,
well, and he's a defensive guy. They promoted the defensive coordinator to the head coach, and not Hackett, because Nathaniel would not have been. I just think he's better off trying to avoid that. He has Denver hired him as the head coach, And I firmly believe they thought if they hired Nathaniel Hackett, they would have got Aaron Rodgers. That didn't happen. Wasn't very good. They struggled terribly. And of course, now Sean Payton's got them playing well. Our Black Plumbing social media question of the week, Black Plumbing, Heating, and Air, is because we heard rumors yesterday at the golf course, but then I saw something on the internet saying, and I don't know if it was legit reporting or just throwing it out there, that Kirby Smart may be somebody the Jets go after. And so I put as our Black Plumbing social media question, which is a better job? Being the head coach at the University of Georgia or being the head coach of the New York Jets? We had one person put Georgia, and I'm an Alabama fan. We got about a minute. What job is better? Being the head coach in the NFL of the New York Jets, #1 media market out there, or being the head coach of the University of Georgia Bulldogs?
Well, I mean, obviously, the job security is probably better at Georgia, especially having won a national championship and all of that. You go to the Jets specifically, you know, it's been just like a rolling dumpster fire. And,
For a while.
Yeah, and so unless you did turn it around very quickly, which if you have that confidence that you can, then you know, go do it. But unless you turn it around very quickly, you would just get fired, you know, and you'd be Saban to the Dolphins scenario and look for a college job to come back to.
Yeah, I would definitely pick Georgia all day over the Jets.
Well, I think so too, because A, you get to go recruit your people. At the Jets, you get to draft wherever you fall. Then you got to figure out, okay, I've got my DraftKings money. How do I make it work? Do all this. And so,
Complete rebuild.
yeah, I think the Georgia job is a much better job. That is our Lawrence Law headline report. 49ers win. Jets have a coaching vacancy. We'll be back right after this.
I have like a hair or something that fell on my lip when I was talking, and I was like trying to get it off, and so I have to go look in the mirror to see if it's still there or if I got it. So if you were wondering why I was hitting myself in the face.
I just thought it was the bees. I don't know why I'm quoting Chris Farley quotes all morning. It's the bees.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Your firearms are useless against them.
Maybe it was an eyelash, but I was like flicking myself.
My allergies are killing me. What?
Yeah. Yep. See, I heard it. Well, that livened him up a little bit.
Need something.
Oh my
I've seen doorknobs with more personality than Hodge.
Oh,
What'd you do last night, Hodge? Why are we dragging this morning? Y'all played golf,
oh God.
and that was it.
My eyes,
Nothing
my
was
nose.
it.
Which is the best time for a coach?
It is the best time. It's my
It is, yes.
It's like the world is right when the Cowboys play 25 on Sunday.
Yeah, no, totally agree.
I mean, you would think primetime games, that's not accurate. That's not the right answer.
No, you go to bed too late. I don't like watching, especially on a quote unquote school night. So like Thursday night, Sunday night games, because no matter what happens, I can't unwind after
Okay.
it. Like,
I know.
I'm either super excited because, oh, we won,
I know.
or I'm like very mad, like,
Of the prime, would you either have a Thursday night, Sunday night, or Monday?
probably Thursday night,
That's what I was
just
gonna say.
because it's like, I hate starting Monday
Yes.
feeling like,
And
because
it's the
I stayed
longest
up
day
too
ever.
late.
Yes.
Monday night, it's just like, I don't want to care about Monday night.
And Thursday, it's like, okay, I got one more day.
One more
tomorrow.
day, yeah.
I can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the end of your week, not the start.
But like I said, after a Cowboys game, I just can't unwind. Even that one that obviously ended very excitedly.
Yes, that was a
The,
good fun
the,
game.
we could probably talk about this in the show, but the Steelers getting the ball back and throwing Hail Mary and then just going to commercial, I about lost my mind. It's just like, what is going on?
That's funny. Yeah.
It's like trying to get my phone so I could like get the app open so I could see did they complete the pass?
Welcome back as we keep rolling through this Friday morning. Hope everybody's having a great day. Weekends here. Cowboys, Lions, you'll be able to hear them right here on 106.9 The Country Giant. Aggies have the week off, and the Anson Tigers will be playing tonight as district play starts for the Tigers, so you'll be able to listen to them tonight. Anson Tigers football right here on 106.9 The Country Giant. But it is time for our First Bank and Trust Texas Rangers / now MLB report, because the Texas Rangers are vacationing and getting ready for hopefully a better 2025 season. But Josh, it is postseason baseball time. We mentioned it during the beginning of the show. It's different, obviously, because the Rangers aren't in it, the Astros aren't in it, the Braves aren't in it, the Phillies are no longer in it, and some that are playing really good baseball right now. It's very competitive. You got some game fives, which we normally say this words in sports are game 7, but game 5 for this group of folks means the exact same for the Padres and the Dodgers and the Guardians and the Tigers. And so there was times it was very similar to March Madness, and there was games starting early, games starting late, all the way in between. But there are some exciting baseball going on, and the New York Yankees and the New York Mets are the only ones that have secured their spot in the LCSs. And so some game 5s going, one tonight, Padres Dodgers, game 5 tomorrow for the Guardians and Tigers. And so it's pretty exciting baseball right now.
Oh, it's very exciting. The Mets, that's one of those things that it actually frustrates a lot of people. Now that I guess the Yankees did win, so a team that had a bye advanced to the next round, and so at least that monkey's kind of off the back of the postseason because people made a huge deal about that. The Phillies, this is why people have a problem with the bye situation, and I think that Phillies Mets game or series sums that up perfectly, because the Phillies were like just rolled through the regular season, much like the Braves did last year, I guess it was, where it was like they were just in first place for a very long time, secured the National League East early, so they were guaranteed a playoff spot, then secured the best record, so they bye, and the Mets quite literally had to play till the very last day of the extra day, the makeup game for the Hurricane on the Monday. That it was supposed to be the off day before the playoffs started, but they had to do their makeup doubleheader. They had to win one of those games to even make the playoffs. They did win one of those games. They made the playoffs, so they just flipped right into having to play the wild card round. They win the wild card round, move on, beat the Phillies, and so that kind of, I guess, that summarizes the frustration that some people have with the current playoff system, because the team that was basically wire to wire, running it down, just like coasting into the playoffs, got beat by the team who had to scratch and claw to even get into the playoffs. And some people have a problem with that, but I personally do not.
But I think, and we saw with the New York Giants, and Misty, I don't know how you feel on this, but I feel like you're better off going into the playoffs that way than you are, because you're having to claw to get in. And if you're clawing to get in, now momentum is your way. And I would much rather be, and I know this is going to be a very Captain Obvious, but I would much rather be going in hot into the playoffs instead of coasting in knowing you made it months earlier.
Oh, yeah, no, because I mean, yeah, the momentum's going to carry you and you have to have that fight. I mean, baseball is such a long season, so many games. And so, no, I 100% agree with that.
And I think that's what you're seeing with the Tigers and the Mets. The Mets coming in, like you said, having to wait, and do you win a game and they won the first game? Do we mess with the losing? How do we play the other? Because if we lose both of them, Arizona gets in. And so, but now the Braves are gone. They are home. They're vacationing just like the Rangers and all the other teams. And then you got AJ Hinch for the Tigers, who bittersweet is still playing. Now, granted, he still has a World Series ring, but the Astros are home. And you've got a lot of these small markets that are battling. Of course, New York is obviously a big market. The Dodgers or LA is obviously a big market. Where does San Diego fall when it comes to, I mean, they can't keep a football team, but where do they fit as far as a market? But I think they've got as much star power to carry the MLB postseason into the NLCS with Machado and Darvish and Tatis Jr. And again, I've said they will not win a World Series. I'm standing by it. The Dodgers will not win one in the years that Shohei signed a huge contract. But I think you've got a good. It's not like it's not like Detroit's not very good, and they still draw you in. I think there's still plenty of storylines in the MLB postseason. Even if the Dodgers were to lose tonight, there's still plenty there with a potential Subway Series.
Well, yes, I mean that obviously is the East Coast just like fever dream that they have. Two of the Yankees, Mets, or they would take the Yankees, Phillies, but that's that thing. I think the overall probably baseball sphere, the media and all of that would love for it to be the Yankees Dodgers. I mean, I think that's probably the ultimate. You got both coasts, the two biggest like fan base franchises of direction. That would be what they want. That's not what I want, because I'm quite opposed to it, honestly. But it's we'll see what happens tonight, because I'm actually very excited about watching this game, because I still really like Yu Darvish. He was so good to watch as a Ranger. Seems like a very class act type of guy. You don't get much drama from him, and the Dodgers hate him. Because when the Dodgers acquired him in trade from the Rangers, which the Rangers got nothing for him, so they shouldn't hate him too much. He did not perform well, got rocked in the playoffs. The Dodgers got eliminated. A lot of Dodgers fans have a great animosity against him. He pitched the first game against the Dodgers, did very well. Gets the game 5 start tonight, and I hope, just as a baseball fan, it's a good pitching matchup. And for a Yu Darvish fan, I kind of hope he sticks it to him.
You got Darvish going against Yamamoto, so that's a big deal. So I'm going to ask you. We got a little bit of time left. So from a media standpoint, I think it would rank maybe 1 and 1A, 1B. Mets, Yankees, Dodgers, Yankees. What outside of that, what do you think would be the best World Series, and what do you think would be the worst World Series?
Well, as far as
Like, you're gonna watch
Yeah,
it
oh,
because
yeah,
you're
I'm
a
gonna
baseball
watch
guy.
it. I wanted Kansas City to make it just because of their turnaround that they had. But the Tigers are actually in that same boat where they weren't very good and kind of steady rebuild for a long time. Not the Tigers even more so as far as like the Tigers have had a propensity to spend money and try to get in free agents, and it hasn't worked. And the Royals are the flip of that, being the team that spends very little money, but I was sad that the Royals that game. The So I guess I don't know, because I don't want the Yankees or the Dodgers to win the World Series, because I don't like the reward of just being the massive juggernaut, sign all the players,
I think Cleveland, I think.
and I have an unreasonable disdain for Cleveland, because I think they're the epitome of, like, they don't spend any money, they don't try to get better at all, totally low payroll. They're not the Indians anymore, so I just hope that they lose. And Struble, who's pitching for the Tigers tomorrow, is probably the best pitcher in baseball right now. So that's exciting. So I don't know. I'm going to say that probably the lesser of the evils would be the Mets to make it for the National League. And that would just be a good story just in general, because in July they were talking about they need to trade Pete Alonso, they need to blow up, they're not going anywhere, they got to rebuild.
And Alonso hit the bomb last
Yes, and then they got hot right at the right time. Not only did they make the playoffs, now they're in the NLCS. So that's I kind of like that. That gives you that motivation as a fan, and like in the middle of the year, you don't need to just give up because you can still turn it around.
But I think the Mets and whoever comes out of this game 5 will be a good NLCS.
Oh yes, it'll be good.
Yankees, on the other hand, I think the Yankees Tigers would be a better LCS than the Yankees Indians, because of the same storyline similar to the Mets, is that they're stumbling in, they're coming in hot, all those things. And so I think Yankees Tigers prefer Mets Padres, because that will be year 1 of 10 where I'm correct about no World Series.
Go ahead and just scratch one off.
Just keeps on every year.
Yeah, it's underneath here. Okay, it's done.
So, I'm kind of with you, like with that, especially, and we've talked about it on there before, that the just insane huge contract that the Dodgers signed Shohei to. It's not. I'm not a fan of that approach. And they obviously have loads of talent. They've got signed Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts also to giant deals. And
A lot of money that's going to be going home.
right. And so, like I said, I'm looking forward to watching that game tonight. I want Yu Darvish to deal and just look like the classic Yu Darvish. And like I said, I think it would just add to it if Darvish throws a gem in the playoffs and beats the Dodgers, because they do hate him because he got roughed up when he was a Dodger.
Well, again, game 5 tonight, Dodgers Padres, opportunity for somebody to move on and somebody to send them packing. Speaking of packing, we don't think Kirby Smart is going to be packing to head to New York. We think it is a better job he should stay put. But we will look back at last weekend's upset-filled college football weekend, as Misty on the struggle bus. We'll be back right after this.
I'm sorry. I stopped because my leg itched, and so like doing this.
Well, I don't know. Well, first of all, it was like I didn't even know she got up, and then suddenly she was talking from behind me, and I was like, "What?"
I didn't know she was telling
It
me.
was like you're whispering a secret. Like, what is going on?
I whispered because I didn't want you to be like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm just scratching my leg." I'm hilarious. I need to
Do you need?
I somehow didn't charge my phone last night. It's gonna die. It always sets me back. Have you ever done that? I don't know why I didn't charge it. I sat it on the general vicinity of the charging stand thingy.
I need this internet feedback.
Good.
That was funny. I just looked over and Misty's like scratching her leg and then talking to herself. Or maybe she was talking to us and I just didn't know it.
That was so funny. Yum, yum.
That was super weird.
I just have like this itch, and so I had to scratch it, and then I realized I was right behind Josh.
Well, I couldn't tell if you were helping him. I couldn't tell if you needed him to.
Yeah, it's just like, what? Why are you behind me?
And then that's why I had to tell you, hey, I'm right here. I don't know. Sorry.
Good morning, take care of the itching.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not sure we have the ointment for that.
And I was whispering because we're still on air, and I didn't want you to be like, why are you behind me?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I'm whispering like they cannot hear me on air and I'm saying that. The mic did not go unhot.
Oh my gosh, I'm crying. That was funny. You'll know how I get when I don't get a lot of sleep. The delirium is here.
You got the colorful, we got one purple, we got a little bit of gray, and
This is what they call color blocking. This is a color block shirt.
I mean,
Oh,
what does color block mean?
no, I guess just like left off. Yeah. I like it. I don't know.
Missy trying to explain her shirt. All
Like, I mean, I like it. Obviously, I bought it. It was on sale, but yeah, it's just fun and bright. Oh my gosh, I
Fun
was
and bright.
literally crying. I'm gonna have to go watch that.
right. I'm gonna tell you, that's still not favorite thing after you said today.
Yeah, we'll have to tell Josh that later and on Facebook Live.
Yes.
Because after it, and then you laughed, and I was like, it wasn't funny. And then I was like, oh, there was one word that wasn't in that phrase,
Yeah.
but.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack. We are rocking and rolling. Hour number 1 here on the Hodge Pack. Don't forget you can download, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast if there's anything that you have missed or you want to hear again. Some things you can't hear, and sometimes things is. But we are rocking and rolling. College football, Josh and Misty. We went from probably one of the greatest games of all time, Georgia, Alabama. Alabama winning, Georgia a big comeback. Alabama holding off the Bulldogs. And then last week was, well, first of all, my headline was not correct. I said the UNLV Rebels would still be undefeated. They come up short to Syracuse 44-41. I was wrong. Josh, you were wrong about your 0-2. We were hoping that would be the case. Misty, what was yours?
That's too far back.
Yeah.
That was well, it didn't happen obviously because if she was right, she was wrong.
Yeah, I was wrong too.
Yeah, so yeah,
You were wrong, just admit it.
Just-
You don't even know what I'm admitting.
In
I know.
play, we got that on air that she admitted she was wrong. But last week it was upset city in college football as Alabama loses on the road to Vanderbilt 40-35. Tennessee loses Arkansas. And so now it is wide open. Texas is back at number 1, rightfully so. Big Red River rivalry this weekend as State Fair is rolling. Texas, OU. Talks of Quentin Ewers coming back to play quarterback. Would you have made that call, or would you have stuck with Arch?
Oh, I think I would make that call, because the competitiveness that Arch has faced, I still don't put him above yours right now. So I think I would definitely take him over Arch.
So do we have, and I put this in our text rundown, that the upsets were good for college football, even though some would think, no, maybe more could keep going, start separating from that shadow even more. They felt like the shadow of Nick Saban might have got a little smaller with the big win over Georgia, but then you go to Nashville and you lose to Vanderbilt. But I still think it is great for college football because now we realize, hey, it's okay because Lamar Jackson and the Ravens could play the Chiefs, lose, and still go on a run. So are we starting to see, we've always said that college football basically is semi-pro athletics, semi-pro sports, and now it's even more so, maybe bumped even to a pro level now that the NIL money is happening and these guys are making a good amount of money in college while in school playing football. But I do think it is, all right, I'll ask you, is this good for football when Vanderbilt upsets Alabama?
Well, yes, I think it is. I've always thought that upsets were good, but what I think it shows more and more like how the NIL stuff has changed what's going on in football. We talked about the quarterback leaving UNLV and just basically saying they didn't pay me and so I'm out, and how these ripples will continue to happen and the NIL thing will continue to be a situation that well, first of all, there's going to have to be some more rules and regulations applied to it. And I'm not really a rules and regulations type of guy, but it's just the Wild West, and there will be some change. And the rich are not getting richer with the NIL as far as the teams go. The kids are, and that's good, and they get to move around. But you're seeing what the outcome has been with the NIL money. And the transfer portal, I can't even say that word right now, portal, being more lucrative, I guess, to those mid-level teams than it is to the big name teams. And I think that you see that specifically in that Alabama Vanderbilt game, because prior to the change in how these things go, Alabama's second string would have been better than Vanderbilt's starters.
Right.
I mean, like,
It should have been.
well, yes, and like, but now what you're seeing is those kids that were those blue chippers that, and this goes back way back in the day. I was watching football with my father-in-law, and Alabama was playing somebody I don't even know, but they had a cornerback that got hurt. He was on the field, and as they were taking him off the field, my father-in-law says, well, now they just got to go to their next 5-star recruits. So it was just like the backups were better than other people's starters at those big schools at the those premier positions. And now those guys are not staying around. They're going somewhere else because they want to play, and you're not stuck. And so they get to bounce.
Well, you're seeing that here at ACU.
Yes,
that's why there's 19 Power 5 guys that played at the other level at ACU because they wanted to play. They got a piece of the pie, they got a piece of the cash, and now they're wanting to find a way to play. Because again,
and used to you were stuck. I mean, you could have been the second best running back in the country, but you're at Alabama, and they got King Henry running the ball. So you're not getting the touches. And so like now you can go somewhere else. You don't have to sit and wait your turn. So it's making it all kind of balance out. So there's much more parity. And in general, I'm not a fan of rules making parity like in the NFL. But the way that it's working in college football, I actually am a fan of it because it is good for the individual kid. that gets to go somewhere and play. I don't like that it's all just a bunch of gunslingers. It's a, like not every athlete I know, but it seems like the at least the vocal majority of them will bounce for more money like in a day.
Oh,
You're not building a team. You're not trying to get better. As a coach, that's got to be terribly like frustrating because you're trying to build something.
Well,
You have a good 6-7 win season, and instead of next year going for 10 wins, now like you lost all your good players.
Well, UNLV, I mean, we just saw
Yeah.
that. It's terrible.
Sorry,
Well, the thing of it is, you're now, recruiting was tough anyway. Recruiting, trying to go, and whether you're recruiting, hey, we want you. I know you grew up in California. I know you grew up in New York. I know you grew up here in Pennsylvania. We'd love for you to come to Lubbock. We feel like you can be the guy that turns it around. Well, now you've got to figure out a way, how do I not only recruit, but I'm having to sell literally what can I do for you on an NIL level, because you've got to be sure that's there for them when it comes to recruiting. But when you look at the top 25 right now, Georgia still is at number 5 at 4-1 overall. Of course, obviously their loss is to Alabama, who then obviously lost to Vanderbilt. And Tennessee's at 4-1. But if you look at the top 10, of that top 10, you now have Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Ole Miss in the top 10 from the SEC. But then you add in, you've got Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State from the Big Ten, sprinkled in. Oh, Texas number 1. That's another SEC. I forgot them being SEC again. And then you got Georgia, Miami, and Clemson. But a slew of people like BYU at 5-0 trying to knock on that door. Can we say that the Big 12? No, it's not the SEC. No, it's not the Big 10. But the Big 12 may actually have some really good teams in it. But they're going to have a hard time proving that now that they're just in the Big 12 schedule.
Oh, I agree with that. I think it's kind of reminiscent of Big 12 basketball, although Big 12 basketball gets that respect, so you can have a few losses and still
Because of Kansas.
Right, and you can just, they beat each other up in conference play, but they all still make the dance, and the difference now is I think the conference play, you're going to have some beating each other up in the Big 12, and it's going to overall just hurt them instead of reward. Because we talked about Texas Tech only having one loss, and other than that one loss, have looked pretty good. The ACU game notwithstanding.
Yeah, really 2 losses.
Right.
Go that way on paper.
And for them not to even be like in that back end of the top 25 is kind of surprising. But I think that just shows that there's a general lack of respect for Big 12 football this year. Maybe deservedly so.
Texas got 7 votes, and they're outside of it. USC no longer in the top 25. Nebraska, I think, trying to find a way to get in. Maybe Army outside looking in, and of course Vanderbilt, they got 26 votes. Arkansas 17, and then Washington State's got 8 votes, just up one more than Tech. But USC out, Louisville out, UNLV out, and people that are in it are like Illinois, Missouri's 4-1. You want to talk about a boat race? The Aggies destroyed Missouri. I don't think any of us thought it would be that. We might have thought A&M would play with them, may beat them, but I did not see Missouri getting boat race like they did at Kyle.
And it was just right off the bat, and it was just downhill from the start. Yeah, just.
And so you look at this top 25 and know that only 12 of them are going to get in. There's going to be a lot of good teams, even 12 making the playoffs, that are going to need an NIT, which is what we call the bowls. They're going to be playing in the bowls. And I'm going to tell you one. Don't be surprised, Notre Dame, if you are just going to a bowl game and not making the playoffs.
Well, and that is and we've talked about this before, but Notre Dame being a non-conference participant, it's really going to hurt them because the auto bids from the conferences, having 5 of those schools automatically be able to get in, you're really just like, they have to be in that, that next group of 7 and they might not be.
Wow. this is what is left for Notre Dame. I got to move. Stanford, home. Georgia Tech, home. Navy, home. Florida State, home. Virginia, home. Army, home. I don't know if they're saving their money and didn't have a travel budget, but their next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games are all at home after, oh my gosh, that's 9 straight home games, and they go to USC for their final game of the year. They're not losing another game unless Georgia Tech upsets.
That is so many days in a row. You said 9?
Well, yeah, they had
Since-
nine games. Miami, Ohio played at home, Louisville at home. Literally, their only road games have been A&M, Purdue, and USC. Those are their only. They've got 3 road games.
Well, I guess when you make your own schedule, you
Yeah.
can do whatever you want.
insane.
Yeah, because you know, like not having a conference schedule, they don't have to do the back and forth, you know, that you typically would do. So I guess there's some benefit to that. They can, and obviously that's one of those places that if you are a mid-major, whatever quote you want to put that in, football team, which, you know, that's basically the list of what you listed are all those people, they're Power Fives, but not at the top of those Power Fives. That's also one of, you know, going to South Bend, like that's a feather in the cap. Yeah, that's something you can recruit. Say like, hey, we're going to go play here. We're going to go play here. We're going to go, you know, go.
Well, and
like,
all those other teams are ACC teams, which eventually I think if they ever win to a conference, that'd be where they're at. But anyway, crazy football. We'll talk more about the games. A lot of good games this week. I feel bad for Josh on only finding 10 of them, but we'll talk more about those as we get to our pick 'em in our second hour. But when we come back, we're going to open up Misty's bag. Oh, yes, that is absolutely
That's crazy.
wild.
Yeah, that is crazy.
9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games, and 9 of them are at home.
Yeah, no, that's insane. Yeah.
I mean, South Carolina, Clemson, I think Clemson's got a chance to make a big push.
Yeah.
Ohio State, Oregon, is that one of our games?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it is.
It is? Okay.
Did y'all see that Dirk Nowitzki was in town last weekend?
Yes, I did see that.
More folks that are watching, Dad, Debbie, Billy, Randy, Brian, Donnie.
I think it's whatever lotion I put on, because it's like itchy. My legs are itchy.
Well, my allergies are bad, and I
It sounds like
always,
you need new lotion.
I always
I know, 'cause
itch
I'm
when my allergies are bad, so like I itch like all of it just.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is
but I think that's what it
as
is.
far as what's in the air, but my allergies are coming. My nose is stopped up. I just need to lay
Ole
down.
Miss, LSU,
I just need to
it's
lay
gonna
down.
be a game.
Mhm.
Ohio State, Oregon, big game. Tennessee needs to destroy Florida. Of course, I don't know if they're gonna get, that's intensive. Hurricane has been terrible.
I know, those poor people.
Tech is off this week. K-State, Colorado. It's a lot of good games.
Yeah, I just made one up. Not even happened. So quiet. What's wrong with you?
It is so quiet.
It is the Hodge Pack. We're rolling through, getting ready to wrap up hour number one, and the best way to do that is simply with Misty's bag.
It's gonna be a great weekend for Mulligans. The weather's supposed to be nice. I saw John there last night, and with the kiddos running around, just such a fun atmosphere. Don't forget that on Mondays they do the Jindo. Have y'all ever played Jindo? The musical bingo, I guess is kind of the
Musical
best
bingo.
to talk about that. And then on Tuesday, they have Key City Karaoke, and all, of course, on the weekends, live music 66, Ben Ritchie Drive. It's going to be a great weekend at Mulligan's.
Is Hodge karaoke every Tuesday? I know he loves karaoke.
Yeah, it's always a Garth song, like every week.
Yeah,
Just Garth.
has anyone ever told him he's not that good at it? Was that,
I can assure you, everybody at karaoke knows they're not good at it, so nobody wants to tell them. Actually, a lot of people that do karaoke think they're really good.
Yes,
oh,
they do.
I know that there's several, and I've been to Mulligan's on karaoke night. There's some people that are very good at it.
There actually is.
There are some people that I really think that that's they're like on The Voice, like that's their shot.
Oh,
they're,
yeah.
they're gonna get discovered,
They're auditioning.
and tomorrow they're gonna have a record deal.
It is an audition every Tuesday at Mulligan's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is something to see. Get out there. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so the question this week is, I want to know, what is a, quote, poor people food that you will eat no matter how rich you get? We all have those quirky, weird foods. I mean, I grew up very poor. I got a list of them, but there are some that to this day, it does not matter if I won the lottery, I'm still gonna eat this, what we would consider, a poor person's food, ramen noodles, whatever. So
I know what Hodge's answer is. I'm gonna wait till his answers and I can tell him if he's right or wrong, but I know what his answer is.
I don't know, what is something that,
I tell you, like, there's a lot that I'm with you on this, because there's a lot of stuff that, like, ramen noodles is a perfect example. I can still get down on that. But just really, it's just like a hot dog. It's like, if you want to feed your family, the cheapest way that you can do it is like buns, hot dog wieners, like some
did
mustard.
you ever eat the wiener like cold?
Oh yeah, yeah, just
100%.
right out of the fridge,
Yeah,
just like
same.
got the open
Same.
little package, grab the hot dog wiener, and just
Go
like
this.
oh yeah, you got to get the juice off of it. Yeah, like obviously, yeah, like.
Dude, we're the same. I do it. It's
It's
just
like,
like,
maybe you might need a napkin, I don't know, but But there's a lot of people that are absolutely disgusted by eating the cold hot dog.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah, I was about to say, Hodge is one of them. I can tell by his
He
face.
was dying, and then he had to eat.
Yeah, it's like,
that
this is
cold
your
meat.
only food. You're gonna starve. Nope, I'm dead.
I'm checking start.
To this day, though, like, would you go and just grab a cold one?
Oh
See,
yeah.
I'm not grabbing. I'm not like dangling and getting it off now. I'm not doing that.
No.
It's not happening.
That's not happening, okay. Again, those that are watching.
I haven't in a while, but I'm not saying I wouldn't do it.
So
I mean, if I'm
we got
starving.
fried bologna sandwiches, one that was,
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good one.
but I'm not a bologna guy either, so.
Oh,
I'm
no.
so
I
far
feel
I'm
like
starving.
bologna and hot dogs, like,
It's the
aren't
same
they
thing.
The same
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
but just in a
Or
round
the
form?
Vienna sausage is the hot dog in a can.
Nope,
Yeah, like,
still starving.
I mean, I
Still
had that
starving.
growing up. Vienna
Yeah.
sausages, like,
Still starving.
put it on a cracker.
oh yeah, we get a piece of cheese if you really want to
How
touch it up.
about sardines?
No.
Still starving.
I
Yeah.
actually ate sardines. My grandparents had them at times, and I actually.
I don't
ate
like,
sardines.
I don't like being packed like a sardine, and I'm definitely not eating a sardine, so,
Yeah.
nope, keep going.
I'm trying to think.
Well,
Still starving, next.
So this one is kind of weird, but I'm going to share it anyway. So, and I don't know. I think my mom came up with this. I don't really know. Actually, there's two. One is just a tortilla with butter, not margarine. So, side note, I found out that those are two different things. This is a true story.
Butter and margarine, you didn't know?
I had no clue. I thought the country crock, I grew up calling that butter. And then one of my friends was like, get the butter. And I got it out and she was like,
What?
this is not butter. And I was like,
Oh, no,
it absolutely is.
I'm a real butter person. I do not
Well,
like.
now I know. My mom lied to me. Now I know that butter is different from the country crock. Anyway, that's a whole nother
I
story.
can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah.
Right,
So
so,
country crock, because that's what we grew up on. And then pecani sauce, like paste. Like old school, you just like
Well,
put
paste
it in
pecani
there.
sauce is pretty gross.
I know. And then you roll it up and it's like a little like,
I
don't know,
don't,
like-
the butter and pecani sauce is, I was like,
it's interesting and I don't know.
and again, still starving, keep going.
Oh, this one you're gonna really hate. The next one, my mom was actually served this in school, and I guess she really liked it, and we ate it, and it's super cheap, but just stay with me. It's a piece of bologna, instant mashed potatoes. They cannot be real. I have tried it, and it jacks up the flavor. Instant mashed potatoes on top of the bologna, a piece of sliced cheese on top, potato boat, bologna boat, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, hold that thought, we're gonna, pause for station identification.
very,
KLTV Stanford, Abilene, 106.9 FM, where real country music lives.
Okay, finish your bologna.
So,
bologna boat.
so like a bologna boat.
Do you
So
eat it with your hands or like with a fork?
no, you stick it on a paper plate and put it in the microwave, and it kind of like sizzles up. The cheese gets all melted. The bologna like kind of comes up in a little boat, and then you do salt and pepper on top of that sucker, fork. I'm telling you, do not knock it. If you're hearing me, try it. Your family will like it. My kids eat it. My
There's
husband.
no way Hodge is going to try that.
Hey, the
I
next
don't even
Cowboys
know-
game we
I-
get
oh,
together, I'm
gosh.
bringing it.
I haven't had instant mashed potatoes in long enough that I don't remember. I just, but okay, I
I
won't.
know it's weird.
I'm not gonna say I won't try it, but
So
I'm
yours
not.
is just a cold hot dog. but
Cold
you'll-
hot
you'll
dog.
Still do that, yours is everything bologna,
Yeah, I guess
a
so.
lot of tortillas.
It's a filler, you know. When you're poor, you gotta do things.
Well, and I don't think this is, but like, I think one of my favorite meals, of course, my uncle, Billy is the one that said fried bologna sandwiches, no, grandma's biscuits and gravy, fantastic. But I'm gonna tell you, one of my favorite meals is hamburger helper.
Yeah. I had it so much as a kid though that like now I'm like I don't
That,
I'm a
want
that
fan
was
of
that
it.
was that was part of my growing up experience.
I'm a fan of hamburger
which
helper.
kind though? There's like 80 different
Well,
options.
I mean, like the normal one.
like
I mean, like,
stroganoff or like
yeah.
cheeseburger mac,
lasagna.
lasagna. We got
Actually,
lots of flavors.
I actually like the hamburger helper stroganoff. I hadn't had it in a long,
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
But it's like it is so not stroganoff.
No.
Like if you actually get stroganoff, and the way and my mom made stroganoff also when I was a kid, but it was not regular stroganoff. So then when I got older and I was I was offered some stroganoff. I was like, I like that, and I started eating. I was like, I don't like this.
No,
what,
I know.
what is this? This is not right.
This
This
is not
is
out of the box.
fraud.
Yeah. So, yeah, hamburger helper.
No, Hodges is Kraft mac and cheese.
Well, it doesn't have to be crap.
Oh,
Still to
no,
this
no,
day.
no, it has to be Kraft. You actually gripe if someone makes real mac and cheese and you want the box mac
You
and
don't
cheese.
like Velveeta shells and cheese?
It's okay, but I don't think it's as
Oh,
good.
man, I'm going all in on some Velveeta
No.
shells. That was like, we had a little bit more money that week, you know, like, we got
You step it
Velveeta.
up. You gotta squeeze that cheese out of there instead of have to mix the
100%.
powder.
That
Like-
was a delicacy, whenever I
Oh,
was
okay,
young.
I'm gonna go to commercial because we gotta come back, but another one didn't bother me at all, still eat it today, and we're gonna have a commercial on it, is SpaghettiOs.
Uh-oh,
I do have SpaghettiOs in my pantry.
we do too.
That's great.
But now instead of in a can, a little like plastic thing that you can microwave in the plastic thing.
Oh, 100%, you just eat it yourself.
Yeah.
Eat it yourself.
Oh, that's great. What are we doing next?
We'll talk some NFL, and then we'll roll into Dash,
Okay.
late, they can come in.
Yeah, okay.
I gotta go eat fresh.
Okay,
No.
I'm going after you.
Good night.
Hey, guys.
How many times?
It's like a diuretic.
Cool. Good, how are you? We just one segment and then it'll be. Hi, I'm Lee. We've never met. I'm Misty Collier. Hi. You're good. Nice to meet you.
Hey, your daughter.
Yes, I did. Yes, it's been the very best week. Yes. Yeah, I was a baker for 18 years and I was like praying about a change and this kind of just kept coming up from different people and I was like, I'm gonna apply and go for it and it's been so good. Yeah, you have such a great mom. I didn't know her well, just acquaintances, you know, different things. We were always very friendly with each other, but yeah. I can already tell, I'm like, she's amazing. She's gonna be the very best boss. So I feel very fortunate to be there. Yes, yeah, I told her, I'm like, once I get trained, it's a big learning curve, but I'm like, once I do, I know that it's gonna be great. So, but yeah, it's been a good week. So, how are you? You've been just training and how long are you home for? 10 days and then back at it. How are you doing with that?
From the weekend, it's like the military.
Yes.
Just gone like that, but.
Yes.
That is how it goes, though. It's a draft day, and then it's like,
Okay, before we get started.
We're on a cruise, and I get the call, we're on the way back to port, so I had one night, and that same day I'm on a plane going to Arizona.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Bang, bang, let's go.
how's it been? Like, what's the day-to-day? Just,
Wake up, breakfast, and you go right into the training room, do whatever.
Hey, that's Jerry, Ryan, Rod, Jerry.
How are you?
I didn't know if you made it, thanks for coming out.
Yeah. Training room,
I was just
row,
mom was playing golf.
workout, fun moves, pitcher field practice.
Right.
Did that workout, never used your sister.
Yeah.
Mine won 1 o'clock.
I was like, they've all been on.
so are you playing a fall league or just working out?
So we got into.
Much better studio.
Into
I know, this is cool.
ACL.
Is it done?
It's kind of like the lucky ball. So we came in at that
Downtown.
time, we played a few games.
We didn't know if the elevator was gonna actually work.
I do with the elevator.
Went to see some more games. And then we just got done with instructs. Instructs is only like 5
I just
teams.
remember one
We
time
played it all each other and
something was messed up with it, and you would get to
played 2 games.
floor 7, and the elevator would
We got a bunch of
go,
games in the ball.
and then it would take like 40 minutes,
So I
it
guess
felt like, for the.
It was scary. Every week I was like.
Were you here, were you all doing the show when, like, when the Kindle were on?
No,
Yeah, I mean, that was.
I was
No,
gonna
that's
say,
what-
that must have been, cause,
I've never been, but I think about going to spring.
yeah, I was gonna say, and I'm
My
doing
boys
the show like.
are
so, yeah.
really big into baseball, but they're
I've been
6.
on
So
when
it's kind of waiting
been
for them
on.
to be old enough to
Because
really take it in.
we've had her on a
and,
few times since I was
you know,
on. But, yeah, I wasn't here.
If we go, we'll definitely look for it.
Yeah.
We'll be at the same facility.
And the one thing I'll say is surprises.
Well, there were, y'all had to be both playing tennis, because that's why y'all came on.
It's a retired community. Nothing's going on out there. There's good food and everything. And, you go sightsee out in Glendale, Scottsdale, and all that.
Was it team?
But yeah, it'd be
Huh?
surprised.
Yeah.
Teams, no?
Yeah, it has been team. No, you're right.
That's good.
Cause she.
So is it like a dorm type situation, or you have to find your own living, or what?
No, so they built,
I'm pretty sure.
it's a company called Pro Housing.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's basically like college apartments. They got like a downstairs community area for us, and then, 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're coming back, Josh.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, Sports Live and everything in between. We are kicking off hour number 2, brought to you by Coleman County State Bank. Hour number 2 filled with self-talk. Our celebrity guest picker, Dash Albus, will be already actually in studio hanging out with the former guest, Leighton Alford. So we just got all the guests on the show today, and we'll be talking about, I know, it actually works out great because Dash was drafted by the Kansas City Royals, is playing baseball. This will be perfect pick for you to hang with because Josh is a bit of a baseball guy.
Yeah, very. I was already, I guess, probably driving him crazy during the commercial break, just asking a lot of questions. He was very gracious, though. Glad to have him here.
What happens, pros get a lot of questions. That's what
Yeah.
happens.
Basically, don't forget Josh Dash when you're just like this huge.
Oh, no, that's what I was telling him. I mean,
Remember the
I've
Hodge Pack?
been planning to go to spring training. I was just telling him during the break, I was waiting for my boys to get old enough that they really want to go. They really love baseball, but I want them to be old enough to like take it all in
Yes.
and not have to
You don't have to
worry.
babysit your kids.
Right. Have them
Yeah.
enjoy it and everything. And since the Royals share a facility with the Rangers, I mean, we'll definitely have to make a
because
point to watch him get some work
You,
in.
you don't want to be those people that take their 1 and 2-year-olds to Disney.
Yeah, we're
And
just
you're like,
you're carrying a crying, sleeping kid.
Like, why would you do that to yourself as a parent? Come
well,
on, y'all.
and we're going to get into the NFL, but we did that our second anniversary. Tracy and I went to Orlando and went to Disney World, and as obviously adults, it was a lot of fun. But you would look, and we got married in June, so Florida in June is a little toasty, and you would see a family like 2 strollers, maybe another kid walking alongside. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I mean, is this the punishment you got losing your fantasy football team? Because, we're gonna make you go to Disney with toddlers and a baby.
It's a terrible
And,
punishment.
yeah, and so congratulations on
And
that.
there is, and this you can kind of probably attest to this. I don't know if ours might have been better than my children, but for whatever reason, when kids get hot, they get tired, they get cranky, and then they insist that you carry them, and it's hot,
Yeah.
and you don't want to carry them.
Oh, their legs,
Like-
their legs do not work when they're tired.
They
Right,
don't,
right.
no.
And-
It's
and-
just dead weight.
Yeah, and sometimes I get that way, but
I know I have to carry Hodge sometimes.
Yeah.
It gets rough.
yeah. But let's talk about the NFL last week. The Cowboys did win against the Steelers in crazy fashion. Rico almost cost us the winnow, but thank goodness Dak was paying attention and fell on the ball, and they got another chance. And we'll get to take it or trash it, but from a Cowboys perspective, who has impressed you? Has anybody impressed you? I've got a guy that has impressed me, and I'll do that. I'll do my version of Misty's bag. What Cowboy has impressed you? I think I know your answer, but what Cowboy has impressed you?
Well, Overshown is the guy that like has
Yeah.
really, to me, he's shown his just
Over nothing?
yeah. He's got puns. Just his freak athletic ability. And watching some of the game, trying to pay attention to what the defense is doing has been kind of futile, I guess, at times. But so he's got some work to do and to get better. But he's a freak athlete.
Yeah, I was gonna say Overshown too. And obviously, we love our kicker because he scores more points for us than anyone else.
Coach Hood, used to coach Hood, now Derek Hood works.
His name used to be Coach.
Well, no, I mean, he coached, but he got out of like I did.
Yeah.
He says Tolbert. And really, Tolbert was kind of
Well, yes.
went off the field and comes in and catches the game-winning touchdown. To me, it's Hunter Lemke. I mean, the fullback has come in big. And deep down, I thought when it was whatever down it was when they almost fumbled, that they should have gave it to him, because I'm just not a big fan when you're on the 1 to have to run 7 yards to get to the 1 and then score.
Right.
It'd be different if you had a freight train like Derrick Henry, but we don't have Rico and Zeke. And Dalvin Cook's somewhere in Dallas. I don't know where actually he exists, but he doesn't play. But to me, Lemke's come up big in games of catching, whether it's out of the backfield and catching a screen. And but to me, Hunter Lemke's the guy that, one, fullbacks are kind of like, I mean, they're not a dinosaur, but it's a position that you're not drafting a whole lot of those in fantasy football.
Not since Mike Allstott.
Right, yeah, and he was a beast. But so Hunter Lemke's been the one that's impressed me on what he's done. One of the things that we're getting back this week is Bland's going to be back, so that helps because the Detroit game this week, and this isn't my take it or trash it point, but it's a must win for Dallas more than it is for Detroit.
I wouldn't say must win, but it would be a definite sign that the season actually might have some legs.
Like maybe we're taking a turn.
Yes.
Because as of right now, I don't feel warm and fuzzy.
We're 3-2 right now, and you look at we talk about the great crazy schedule that the Notre Dame has of all the home games. Looking at the Cowboys schedule, I'm just going to go through these, okay? We'll let Misty, go back and forth. You're going to be first. The rest of our schedule, give me win or lose.
Okay,
Detroit,
lose.
at San Francisco,
Lose.
at Atlanta.
We suck. Lose.
All right, Josh, we'll let you take over.
That would be the positive.
So far we're on a
We switched roles.
So far we're on a 3-game losing streak. Philadelphia at home.
We'll win that one.
Houston at home.
I don't know. Houston's kind of been Jekyll or Hyde a little bit, but
Monday Night Football.
oh man, I'm not even going to want to watch it. Lose.
All right, Misty, back to you. At Washington.
We'll win.
Giants at home.
Oh, that doesn't even count.
Okay, Cincinnati, Monday night game at home.
Well, I would say we win that one.
At Carolina.
Win.
And then we finish with Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, Washington. My point of all that is, you can finish that. Do we beat Tampa Bay? I mean, I know a lot of things got to happen.
I'm going to say we lose to Tampa.
Then you got at Philadelphia and Washington. I think Washington is really good. I say that. I don't know how good they are. We're going to find out this weekend.
I was going to say we're still early on some teams
But
to truly know that.
But my point is, you look at that schedule that we just rattled off, starting with Detroit. Now, the road win at Pittsburgh, how they won, the fact that it was late start, weather was what it was. I mean, Dak and whoever the equipment manager, they had to wash some white shirts and white pants. My point is, you look at the schedule, and it looks like SEC because there's not an easy win from Detroit till we get to Carolina.
Which is a concern if you're a Cowboys fan.
Right.
Huge.
And so I just think it's going to be, you're going to have to start getting consistent play from both sides of the ball. We can't just rely on Aubrey. Okay, we'll just settle for a 65-yard field goal every time because he might miss. Okay, it might happen. So you've got to start doing that. One of the things I would like to see, they've thrown out the Devontae Adams possible, bringing him in. I don't think we're a receiver away from a playoff push. We may be a running back. We've got to get some consistency at running the football. And then this weekend, we're going to pick here in a minute with Dash and all of us. Detroit runs the ball really, 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 really well. And getting Bland back is going to be huge because not only do they run the ball well, Jared Goff was 18 for 18 last week. 2 weeks ago. They had a bye last week. But I just think it's going to be a very tough game. And it's that Sunday starts the gauntlet of a schedule for the Cowboys.
No, it does, and it will be a very, very tough game.
All right, let's go. Take it or trash it. Misty, you go first.
Oh, gosh. Let's see. I had some written down here. Rattler is going to be the starting quarterback for the Saints from here on out. It will be the next Romo-Dak situation between him and Carr.
Oh, I'm gonna trash that.
I trashed that also.
I don't think, I mean, Spencer Rattler, he didn't have the success in college that a lot of people thought he should have had. And I don't see that transferring to the pros either. So I'm gonna trash that.
That came from one of my Saints friends that was in town for the Coke concert last night. She was like, use this one. She's high on Rattler. A lot of Saints fans are. So that came from her.
Maybe just high, because I think that's a bad take.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oklahoma will upset Texas this weekend.
I'm gonna trash it in that if Oklahoma wins, it's not an upset. They're both,
Just they're number one, meaning not.
they're-
But
I'm gonna trash it, and I think Texas actually will steamroll Oklahoma.
I think Texas will beat them also, but it is one of those classic rivalry games. You know, I'm with them both going to the SEC. I'm glad they at least kept that tradition going. So crazy things have happened in that game before. So I'm not saying Oklahoma has no chance, but I've got Texas.
I've got two taking the trash it. Number one, the Ravens Commanders is a Super Bowl preview.
I'm going to trash that because although I'm very, very fond of what Daniels has done, and kind of that's where I was going to go with my take it or trash it, but it'd be too much of a story for the rookie to just roll all the way to the Super Bowl.
Other one, take it or trash it, the next head coach of the New York Jets will be Bill Belichick.
I'd take that. I'd like to see that. His commercials are really funny on TV, though. I'd have to miss those.
Did we see Bill being funny?
No. And it's like his commercials are funny because he's like, they're clever, but he's not being funny, and it makes it funny. I don't.
He's like the Vince Vaughn of coaches, of like dry humor that just comes out.
Yeah, right.
I got one, take it or trash it. Mahomes will end up with more interceptions than Dak at the end of the season.
No, I'll trash that.
Well, I mean, Dak really got on the interception wagon, fumbles everything last week, so I'm going to trash that also.
All right, Josh.
Well, I was my take it or trash it had to do with Jaden Daniels, and the Bears having made a mistake with 1-1.
I'll take that. And I would stay on the Daniels training also. We got about a minute left before we bring Dash on. And I said it at the beginning of the year, I was worried they would be this year's Houston Texans, and that's what we're seeing, at least early. Now, they've not beaten anybody really great. They're going to have their opportunity this weekend. But I think if Jaden Daniels has a good game on Monday, my headline would be, he'll be your leading better or person for the MVP. If he has a good game this week and they win because of Daniels, he will be the leading candidate for the NFL MVP on Monday.
I agree with
I
that.
like it.
All right, take it or trash it. Brought to you by nobody, but take it or trash it right here again on 106.9 The Country Giant. When we come back, pro baseball. Dash Albus, leader of a Wiley Junior League a long time ago, was way back in the day. Now he's a Kansas City Royal, and we're going to see if he can pick some football. We'll be back right after this. All right, Dash.
Do you want to stand or sit? Okay,
Do you have your games? Do you have the games? Yeah.
we usually stand because we're going to share the mic and then you'll be here. But feel free to, you can definitely sit, but if you want to stand, we can move this over there and then you can raise the mic. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, get used to this. You're going to get used to these interviews.
So am I gonna say
Yeah.
the game, or are you gonna say the game and I'm just gonna say who I got?
Yeah, we'll go through it. So we'll go through the games. Josh had a typo. It's Utah and Arizona State, not Arizona.
That's not a typo. It's an omission of two letters.
Let me put it this way. The other letters didn't make it to the podium. Fine.
can say I texted as well. There's no shot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's no shot of you.
I mean, nobody thought Vandy would beat Alabama.
I mean, yeah, there's.
There's always this very slim chance.
Well, let's face it.
I agree with y'all, but
Let's face it, when
yeah,
they,
right?
when they play, I know it's a cliche statement, but you really do throw out the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the records out the window.
I mean, into the wall.
I'm gonna take UNHB.
Huh?
I'm gonna take UNHB. Aren't they like Alabama D3 football?
I think they're, yeah,
They're pretty good.
I think they're pretty good.
HSU's been doing good.
HSU has had a good season. That's.
Hopefully you'll do better than some of our other pickers. We've had a few that have gotten like one or two right, so,
It all depends on like how many limbs you want to go out on.
yeah.
So Hart Simmons is 4-0. Of course, when McMurray left, it was all weird.
Yeah, they play like.
It's on the road.
Like I said, that matters, but
Yeah.
I mean, Hart Simmons is going.
Yeah, going
Mhm.
to Belton.
Mary Hardin Baylor's 3-1. Their loss was to Bethel University, 2010. They scored 85-6, 35-17. John Melvin was canceled, and they beat East Texas 42-28. One more commercial. Boom. Who?
HSU.
Well, and that's changed now, just because when McMurray left, it backed up the ASC.
Well, and he'll probably lead in and ask, are you gonna be like, hey, talk about
No,
how?
we're gonna talk about the draft experience
Yeah,
and all that.
so, like what Josh just, same type stuff.
Josh, if you have any questions. It must be right, and it is time for us to have our celebrity guest picker. Oh, you didn't know? You might not have known. Again, our pick'em is brought to you by Fat Matt Roofing. Appreciate Fat Matt Roofing and all that they do. Check them out if you have any roofing needs. But joining us that you may not know is a newly drafted baseball player, Dash Alvis. Dash, how are we doing this morning?
Good.
Appreciate you taking time. Are you adjusting to the central time zone out there in Arizona? It's not a little different.
Yeah, about 2 o'clock this morning, rolled around, and I just now got tired. It's hitting.
Well, you're in luck. The segment's not going to last too long. You'll be able to go to sleep as soon as you're done. But so Dash, tell us. So you got drafted. Dash, you tell everybody a little bit that may not know. Oh, you didn't know. Tell a little bit of folks where you went to high school and all those things.
Yep, went to high school here in Abilene at Wiley. Went off and did JUCO ball for 2 years
Where at?
at Temple College.
Okay.
Yep, spent 2 years there. It was a grind and it was fun. Then came back home, went to ACU, and now we're in Arizona in Kansas City.
There you go, for Kansas City Royal, who unfortunately lost last night to the dreaded Yankees. But so talk about that experience. What it was like. Did you know what was the leading up to the draft before you got selected? What was that like?
A little crazy. You get your first phone call and you don't know how to act. It's just like you're talking to scouts in college. They want to know everything about you. I never saw them in the stands. I don't know if that's good or bad. I just never noticed when they were there.
Right.
And yeah, I was getting little phone calls here and there, and then yeah, one of my friends called me up and said, "Hey, we just got drafted." I said, "All right."
So that was how excited you got?
I was gonna say, come on, Dash.
I say that I got, jump for joy and whatever, but in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico on a cruise, and I get the call, and just everything hits, and then you realize, well, now I got to schedule a flight, and now I gotta get back to Abilene and go see my family, and so it's all hectic and whatever. Yes, obviously I was excited and super happy, but yeah, I didn't really sit down and decompress about it.
So when did it hit you?
About the first day I show up to the field and see all these guys that are there already. Everyone's in KC here, and see all the coaches, and then you're like, okay, this is my life. This is what I'm doing now.
So what has it been like out in Arizona?
Hot,
Yeah.
hot and dry.
So and my confusion of I understand you want to be where you can play, and obviously weather is normal. I mean, you're not going to have a lot of, yeah, it's consistent, but like, kind of like when the Rangers built the old ballpark, they didn't put a dome or anything on it then. It was still 100 degrees in 94 when they were building that stadium. Why they pick Arizona to,
Everybody says it's a dry heat. Oh, it's Arizona, it's a dry heat. That doesn't matter when it's 125 outside, and the sun is just burning you.
hot?
It's hot. But yeah, no, it's consistent there. It never rains. You're not going to get rained out. You're not going to all these outside factors, and we can all just be there. Phoenix is such a condensed area.
So are y'all playing games? I mean, how's the pitching been? And we'll get to these picks.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know how many games we had to go to, but I played in at least 12 games in the short little 2 months I was there, 2.5 months.
And you're going back? When do you go back?
Go back in 10 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we've got little side camps and strength and conditioning camps and whatever.
So there is no off season? Oh, wow.
Yeah, you got to train year round.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, I mean, so when you go back out, you'll keep, is it training or games too?
So you got to do no games, but it's called an on-ramp. Yes, we're going to be building up for spring training and off on the races.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe you'll see Josh out there in March. Well, now, we're not going to pick on you, but we're going to let you pick these. We're not drafting you, but you get to see. So let's pick these games. We've got 10 of them. Again, Molly just dominating the pick 'em. I had a rough week last week. I went on way too many limbs and my limbs broke. All right, so we're going to start Utah, Arizona State, another Big 12 matchup. I think, again, the Big 12 is better than what people think. Misty, who do you have?
I've got Utah.
Josh?
I've got Utah as well.
I got Utah too.
Well, yeah.
There you go. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, now Hardin Simmons, Mary Hardin Baylor. This is the big game, if you would say, in the Division III world, especially in Texas, but even outside. Two powerhouse programs. Of course, Mary Hardin Baylor with some national championships under their belt. Hardin Simmons going to Mary Hardin Baylor. One of those weird, ever since the conference changed, McMurray leaving, it's just kind of weird. So I'm going to go with Hardin Simmons. I got Coach Burleson got his 100th win not long ago at Hardin Simmons. I'm going to go the Cowboys.
I'm actually going Hardin Simmons also, though. It is a very tough road game, and that might be a limb, but we'll see.
I've got Mary Hardin Baylor.
All right, Dash going Mary Hardin Baylor. All right, UTOU. Misty asked that question earlier. Dash was talking about in the break what his thoughts were. I think it's going to be a good game. I say that. I said Texas is probably going to boat race them. But again, I think there's always a chance for a good game. But I've got UT. I think they're that good. Whether y'all like it or not, I think Texas is that good.
I agree with you. And we did talk about it. It is a rivalry game, so stuff can happen. But I think UT is good.
Totally agree. It's UT.
All right, UT, everybody all the way around. Arizona, BYU. BYU still undefeated, not getting a whole lot of respect, still outside the top 10. I've got BYU. It's tough to win at Provo. Arizona had a struggle. They came back to get Tech. Tech ended up beating them. I've got BYU.
I've also got BYU. I think they continue to roll.
Same here.
There you go. Everybody got BYU. Dash is living in Arizona, but not obligated to pick them. All right, Ohio State, Oregon. Big Ten matchup. No longer just what you would see in a bowl game. This is a conference matchup in Eugene. Ohio State, Oregon. I think Ryan Day needs this. Obviously, it's more important to beat Michigan, but I think Ryan Day and Ohio State need this. I'm going against what I think was actually going to happen. I'm picking the Buckeyes, Ohio State over Oregon.
I've got Oregon, and just going across the country, playing a late game. I think that's going to be very difficult for Ohio State. So I've got Oregon.
It is going to be difficult, but the Buckeyes can get it done. I'm going Ohio State.
I'm gonna go Oregon on that one.
All right, Dash picking the home Ducks. Ole Miss, LSU. Ole Miss loses to Kentucky a couple weeks ago. LSU kind of just hanging around, not making a whole lot of noise to say, hey, we're over here with one loss. But I'm a Lane Kiffin guy. I'm going Ole Miss, even though LSU is a tough place to play.
And I've got LSU for that specific reason.
Yes, you home, so that's why I'm picking them.
I like Ole Miss.
All right, there you go, Dash. Smart choice. There you go. Ole Miss. All right. Hey, I think there's a chance that that in a couple of weeks, if things go well, there's a couple games that could change this thought. But I think there's a chance College Game Day can be in Lubbock on November 9th. And in order for that to happen, I got to have Colorado beats K-State at home. Shadur, Travis Hunter, all the Sanders boys, keep it rolling. I've got Colorado over K-State.
Although I wouldn't mind seeing that, I've got Kansas State in this game.
Y'all know I've been high on Colorado. I'm going the Sanders boys.
See, I'm out.
You're going who?
I'm Colorado.
Oh,
Sooners.
Sooners.
Sanders.
Oh,
I
Sanders.
said
I
Sanders.
thought you said Sooners.
No.
See, I'm out on Sanders. I'm gonna go against the K-State.
All right, so 2 K-States, 2 Colorados. Missy actually wore her Neon Dion shirt today for Dion. All right, let's go to the NFL. Commanders, Ravens. I said this has a chance to be a Super Bowl preview. I don't like doing this. I'm gonna who do y'all got?
I've got the Ravens. They've turned it around, have been playing very well, but this is one of those rare non-Cowboys NFL games that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I've got the Ravens. I mean, at home, it's going to be a good game, but I think the Ravens will handle the Commanders.
It's hard to go against Lamar. You gotta go with Ravens.
So all of y'all went for Baltimore Ravens, huh?
You better go Commanders. You were talking about them earlier.
But I agree with, Lamar's playing well, and they finally realized after week 1 or 2, oh, we have Derrick Henry. But I'm going to go, they say when all the things are lined up, and everybody's picking the same one.
So conflicted, and it's cracking me up.
As Greeny says, the buildings in Vegas are big for a reason. I'm actually going to go with the Commanders as much as I hate to say. Monday Night Football, Bills, Jets, no longer led by Robert Saleh. Aaron Rodgers has probably been running the show anyway for the last 2 years. Jets, Bills, opportunity for the Jets to win and be tied in the division at 3-3 with the Bills. Now, real quick, did we not see the terrible play calling that the Bills did last week by giving the ball back to the Texans to go on and win? That's how they lost. So I am actually going to go with the Jets. Aaron Rodgers inspired. I got the Jets beating the Bills.
Gross. No chance. Josh Allen. Bills.
I'm going Bills also.
I knew y'all would go Mafia people. What about you, Dash?
It was like it's a coin flip, but I like Aaron. I gotta go Jets.
All right, there you go. 2 Jets, 2 Bills. Now, Dallas Cowboy Radio Network, right here on 106.9 The Country Giant. Again, 3:25 kickoff. You can hear it here on the Country Giant, 106.9. All right, Lions, Cowboys.
Lions.
Lions.
No, you gotta go Cowboys.
There you go, Dash. He knows whose station he's on. He knows what.
Can you tell that we're so tired of getting our heart broken every week?
So Dash went to Cowboys. I've got the Cowboys winning too. I think if you remember, the Lions had it won last year.
But they hate us, and they're coming, and they are spicy.
I do think I think this could be a very college football atmosphere type of Detroit trying to, not necessarily, they're not ever going to pass America's team. They're worth $10 billion. But I think there is some validity in the hating each other, trying to, because I'm sure Detroit's still walking around feeling like, when will y'all respect us? When are we going to be at a point where, hey, you're not just talking about San Francisco, you are talking about us. But I'm going with Dash. Cowboys win. I think it'll be a close game. Bland gets a pick six. That's what it's
I
gonna
hope I'm wrong. I really do. Because I love the Cowboys, but I don't see it.
That's exactly where I'm at. It's like, if I ever wanted to lose a pick, it's that one.
Mhm.
Well, there you go. I hope you do lose it. Dash, we appreciate it. I know it is 8:37 here, and it's like 6:37 what you've been on. We appreciate taking the time. Obviously, the Hodge Pack and people around here are happy for you. It's a pretty cool deal that you go from, hey, I'm playing at ACU, hey, I get a phone call on a cruise, and now I live in Arizona.
Well, thanks for having me.
We'll get some KC. We got some Royal gear. We can support KC.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get some gear for sure.
It's not in the division. It's in the same league, but we can still be Rangers and Royals fans because of that.
Absolutely.
That's okay. Again, that's Dash Albus. Drafted by the City Royals, our guest picker. He guessed them all right. I'm sure he'll be fantastic. When we come back, we'll talk more Hodge Pack, sports life, and everything in it.
Excellent job.
Yeah, nailed it. Okay, let's get a quick pick.
Really hope
Like, do you mind taking it
Ten
for us?
Yeah.
You help what?
Hit it up.
Yeah. Like I said, 1 week, I think our picker got one right.
One right, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Will Gustafson got one right.
It was,
And he's a sports guy. We'll get you kind of right in the middle.
I'll say I don't watch college football.
Yeah, we try to get that KLG.
Yeah, like roughly hour and sideways.
Maybe one of each.
what are we doing here? No, we're still talking on air.
Oh, cool.
No, we're good.
Yes.
We have all, we're friends with all.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Dash.
Awesome, thank you so much. Good to see you, best of luck to you.
Safe travels,
We'll see you all
safe
later. And I'm sure I'll be seeing you
Yes,
more.
yeah, nice to meet you.
Very good to meet
Bye-bye.
you.
See you
Y'all have a
again.
good day.
Bye-bye.
All right, well, I have to go to work.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good one. How you gonna watch today? Okay.
I gotta pee again.
Bye-bye.
This tea. He did so good. Such a nice kid.
All right, mister, we got about 20 minutes left.
What are we even? I'll be back.
Hey, man. Got a couple of commercials. No, you're good. No, you're good. Okay, I got it. Bye.
What are we gonna talk about?
All right, so I think we're gonna go with this.
Oh, man, I did good at this last week, but what's the topic?
Here. Look at page 2. We're gonna talk about the top 10 sport, the top 10 most prestigious.
Oh, okay.
You good with that?
Maybe I should ask you one of these.
Well, we can debate.
Yeah, some of these I haven't even heard of.
Like
Well,
which ones?
I guess just one.
Which ones have you not heard of?
Claret jug?
Yeah, the Claret jug. It is.
I don't know what that is.
It's the British Open.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, Sports Live and everything in between as we get ready to send you into the weekend. Don't forget, JB Cloud will be spinning some tunes for you at 10 o'clock. Of course, the Texas Two-Step with Greg Austin, 2 to 3. Of course, Greg all in the afternoon. Of course, Jones will be back with some record spinning songs for you this coming Monday. So be sure you're tuned in. Don't forget KOGD1069.com. Listen to the station anywhere, anytime. You can. So Dash did a really good job. He gave some picks, went out on some limbs, and I can't imagine what it would be like knowing you get a call. You know there's a chance you may get drafted, but then you get the call that you are drafted. And of course, baseball, there's so, and he mentioned it. He got out there, and there's so many players there. And you think about how many good baseball players or how many good athletes are out there across the globe now that it's obviously baseball is a global sport, but being that small percentage of getting drafted, you get to go live out one of your lifelong dreams of playing professional.
Yeah, to even be on the list to maybe get a call. And then I love the way that it happened. They were just on a vacation, hanging out, and then they get the call. And yeah, I'm sure his world was completely flipped upside down, along with Leighton and his girlfriend and the families. I can't even imagine. That would be so cool as a parent.
Right.
That would be, I think I was more excited than when he was talking about it. I was just like, oh my gosh, the joy that his parents must feel.
Well, and then I actually, we got in golf one day and we went up and Derek and me and Chris Gay and went up and Damon, his dad, we're just kind of hanging out, and he was talking about the experience and just how, man, they test everything. They tested the sweat, and because you're eating this, don't eat this, nutrition, all that is such a different level.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen that in golfers. You see them, eating healthy and all those things, and so it's just a cool thing. And I hope Dash has you never know how long a career is going to be in professional anything.
Right.
But hopefully he'll have a great career, great time, and hopefully a lot of fun stories that we get to hear from Dash and what he gets to do.
Well, and it's really fun because Damon and I were actually on the Wiley Little League boards when Ethan and Dash were playing Little League. So it's been kind of fun just to be on the very back end and be out there when we were cleaning fields and, concession stand, Donna was doing that part of it. So it's just been really neat to kind of follow his journey, and obviously wish him the best of luck.
Well, and we talk about, of course, we're in the Mall of Abilene. Our Post Life studio is here in the mall, and that's where we're at now. And you've got the Big Country Hall of Fame here that's in the mall. And, there's been a lot of great success stories that have come from Abilene. And, one of those is this coming weekend. Well, actually tonight, the Wiley's playing Amarillo Paladura at home, and they're honoring the 2004 state championship team, 20 years winning state championship. And of course, the guy that people remember on that team is Case Keenum, who went on to have a great NFL career, 10 years in the NFL, had the Minnesota Miracle that he'll always be tied to as one of the greatest plays of all time. And so you just look and see the success that comes from this area. And of course, shout out to Al Pickett and all the folks at Big Country Hall of Fame of how much talent and how much success has come from the 325.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. It's so fun. Kind of feels like we're in it with them because we know them a little bit. And so, it's really, really cool. We've produced some great talent for sure.
Well, and so, of course, Josh headed off to work. Appreciate him getting all our pick stuff together. Of course, a lot of tough games to pick and a lot of great football watch this weekend. So be sure, we encourage you, go support these local businesses, whether you go to Mulligans or Lila Landing Cattle, who had redone their bar, and that you can go in there and watch games, and of course Potosi Live. Just great opportunity to go enjoy some great football. One of the things that we started last week, and we got the book Got Your Answers, which again Mike Greenberg and Hembo wrote this book. Hembo did all the research, and they did Got Your Number last year that came out, who dominated, who owns the number 12 or 22, 1 to 99. Well, they've done the same thing with the top 100 sports debates. And so we looked at last week the scandals, and Misty pretty much every one of them. And so this week we're looking at, it's chapter number 1, the top 10 most coveted trophies in sports. And so I've got a copy, Misty's got a copy, we'll get Josh's copy to him later. But you look at these top 10, and I'm going to rattle them off. The Olympic gold medal, number 1, green jacket, Stanley Cup, Heisman Trophy, Tour de France yellow jersey, which that's the winner there, basketball net, which I think is interesting, cutting down the net.
Yeah.
And they talk about it in the Final Four, because you don't do that in the NBA. Kentucky Derby, garland of roses, the claret jug. Misty was asking, that is the trophy that you win if you win the Open, or the British Open, as Josh likes to call it. The WWE Championship belt, and a gold glove, which gold glove, you win that for being the best at your position in the field. So Misty, what are your thoughts on those 10, and what would you say is maybe missing, but what do you think for sure, how right do you think this list is that Greeny and Hembo did?
Gosh, I really think, obviously, I think as an Olympian battling everybody across the world, I definitely think that's number 1. I probably would have put the Heisman Trophy 3, not the Stanley Cup. But it's just because I watch more football. I mean, that's my sport that I enjoy more. So some of these, maybe the order is a little off for me. Tour de France. Yeah, I just don't know. Some of these, after around 5 to 10, I probably would have had a different order on that. Gold glove, maybe would have put that a little bit higher as well. But I think the list overall looks good. What are your thoughts on? I mean, you're a huge green jacket guy, so do you think that's right under an Olympian for you?
Well, for the same reason you would put the Heisman over Stanley Cup is not so much. I mean, I watch the Olympics. I don't pay a whole lot of attention. It's kind of like a lot of people do with baseball. I don't do anything until baseball gets anything until the playoffs. Right. I don't watch college basketball until March Madness gets here. Well, I'm not watching a whole lot of sports that are in the Olympics that aren't the major sports leading up to the Olympics. I watch the Olympics. I watch track and field when the Olympics are happening. But Olympic gold medal is huge because you are that forever. I mean, they can't take that away from you. But yes, it's different. I think people that win a silver or win a bronze are still pretty excited they medal in the Olympics. I would say the green jacket, the Olympic gold medals probably still should be number 1. But what I love about the green jacket is you're a Masters champion for life. Yeah. But what comes with that is you can play in the tournament until you can't play golf anymore. You will always be able to go to the Champions Dinner. And that green jacket is such a symbol of not just sports. I mean, not just golf, but all sports. I mean, it is number 2.
Yeah, it's very prestigious.
But I think it's interesting how the Vince Lombardi Trophy did not make the top 10 as a Super Bowl champion because of so many people that are like, hey, Dan Marino was great, but wasn't a Super Bowl champion. Jim Kelly was great, but not Super Bowl champion. John Elway had a great run, but finally became a Super Bowl champion. And so to me, I am shocked. The ones that are on there, I think it's interesting that the WWE belt is in there. But my thing is the green jacket, you get to play forever. You've got, you're part of such a elite group, because even the Heisman Trophy presentation, even that stuff, they get kind of, more people get into that room. More people get to see some of that. When it comes to the Champions Dinner, it is just the champions. There's nobody else coming in. There's no random person. Hey, can I buy a ticket for that? You're not getting it unless you're a Masters champion. So I think that's why I love the green jacket. I love the tradition that comes with the Masters. but I am shocked that the Vince Lombardi Trophy didn't make it in because people put such an emphasis on winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I hadn't even really thought about that until you just said that it wasn't on this list. Yeah, so and again, yeah, you're right. The WWE Championship belt, I don't think that I would have had that on here at all. And obviously, I did not even know what the claret jug was. You had to tell me that, because.
Well, and the claret jug being one of the oldest, obviously, the foundation
I mean,
of
is
where.
that, do you feel like the claret jug should be on this list?
Well, it's a big deal because that's where golf started. I mean, golf started across the pond there in
Yeah.
Scotland, and now you.
So for the history purpose, you think it's got to be on this list?
Yeah, I mean, I think the claret jug. I would be interested to hear Himbo and Mini's thoughts on why it did make it, but I do understand why, because if you win the Open, because if you rank the majors in golf, it's Masters, Open, US Open, and the PGA Championship. All four majors, but that's how I would probably rank the order of the trophies for that. And so, but the Gold Glove being in there kind of surprised me again that Vince Lombardi Trophy is not there.
Yeah, no, that one, I would say the lap, for sure, the championship belt, Gold Glove, and then Tour de France being number 5. I didn't realize that would be, I thought maybe it'd be on there, but closer to the bottom.
Well, and I think you look at the Kentucky Derby, Garland Roses, it's similar to the green jacket in that nobody's, okay, you won the Preakness Straight. Nobody thinks about that. It's literally, I watch horse racing because of the Kentucky Derby.
Right.
And the only reason I watch the other 2 races is to see if there's a Triple Crown.
But like, is anybody, I guess people watch the Tour de France. To me, it's like not a thing. The only reason I know anything about it is because of Lance Armstrong.
Right.
And the scandal, which
Right.
we talked about last week. So for me, I'm like, why is that even on this list?
Well, I think it's because it is the most prestigious. It
In
is.
that,
It is the green jacket of cycling.
Yeah.
If you win the Tour de France, it's a big deal. If you win the Kentucky Derby, it is the big deal. The
obviously in
other,
our country, cycling is just not the cream of the crop or anything or
Right.
team. So, and that's probably why my brain
and,
goes
and, the,
there.
and the Lord Stanley Cup being as old and you pass it around and everybody has it and all the things that go in the Stanley Cup. And so that's a big deal as well. But yeah, I think those are I think they're accurate, but again, I'm going back that the Vince Lombardi Trophy didn't get. Is there anything that's not in there that you thought should be?
No, definitely that. And I know that we're trying to work on Greeny getting on. So we got to remember to ask that question of,
Right.
hey, where did that fall? Was that number 11? It had
Right.
to be, right there on the cusp of making the top 10. So I'd be curious, what their thoughts were on that for sure.
But again, check out Greeny and Himbo's new book, Got Your Answers. Ton of 100 debatable questions, tons in there. A lot of fun that you can have fun with a lot of your buddies, talking sports and debating those. When we come back, we'll head you into the weekend.
Is this my copy?
Yes.
Thank you.
So when we come back, what we will do is, what will your headline be on Monday? And that's how we'll send it to the weekend.
What do y'all have this weekend?
I've got a wedding to do. That's why I will not be able to cut bands at all.
Yeah.
Then I've got, I'm house sitting for Tracy's parents. They're going to revisit.
Oh, okay. you say Bland is for sure back?
Yeah. Welcome back to the Hodge Pack. We're going to get you into the weekend, but before we do, we are going to call out and say what we think our headline will be on Monday when the sports weekend is over. What will the headline be? Misty, start with you.
So I'm gonna say that with the return of Darren Bland against my pick, I'm gonna say that I am wrong and he is the reason that we beat the Detroit Lions on Sunday.
I think that's a very, I do. I think Dallas will win. I think that they need to find a way to win at home. They have not done that yet this year. They have not won there in a long time, dating back to the Green Bay loss in the playoffs last year. So you've got that Bland will be the reason the Cowboys win. And I'm going to go with, when it's all said and done, I'm going to go that the Padres beat the Dodgers, and the Padres are heading on to the NLCS. The Dodgers will be done. I've got the Padres winning this weekend. I think the headline will be money spent, but it didn't get it done.
Yeah, I
Money,
love it.
money not well spent, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
Again, we appreciate, thank you for Dash joining us this morning. Hodge, Misty, and Josh will be back next week. County Cowboys win. Don't forget, you got Cowboys on 106.9, 325 Sunday, and tonight, Anson takes on the Holly Bearcats as they start district. It'll be a tough one. We'll be back next week. Have a great weekend.